Welcome to Politrics Episode 1. If you haven't heard of James Lindsay, look him up. I've spent the last week listening to hours. I'm talking like 12 hours. This guy's a genius. He's actually cracked the code. You got to check out James Lindsay. Just trust me on this one. In my testing and interactions, I discovered that revealing their magic tricks will get them to stop. So what I've learned is the only way you can stop the D's is by giving them a taste of their own medicine or a mirror, or revealing their magic trick. The D's study magic like the R's study the Bible. Magic tricks work so long as the audience doesn't know the sleight of hand, so you need to show it for what it is. The Law of NIMBY, not in my backyard. So the R's made a strategic move when they sent the immigrants to Martha's Vineyard, and that revealed the not in my backyard NIMBY trick, the double standard. Oh, it's okay for you southern border states to have them, but not us. Oh yeah? How come? You're the ones that said you wanted them. You have to fight fire with fire. It's like Eminem said on The Way I Am.
And look where it's at, middle America. Now it's a tragedy. Now it's so sad to see an upper class city having this happening.
Or on Ice-T's Body Count.
You know what to do if a kid got killed on the way to school or a cop shot your kid in the backyard. Shit would hit the fan, motherfucker, and it would hit real hard.
So R's, if you don't know how to stop what the D's are doing to you with their magic, just do the same thing back to them and watch how they react, and then you'll have your answer. The lie of independent voters. Now, this isn't for all independent voters, but for a specific kind. So independent voters get to hold their nose up at everyone. Now, I'm independent, but a fraction of them are globalists who have voted for whichever globalist candidate was placed on either the red or blue team, since they're the ones that divided and conquered everyone. They're globalists who inserted their candidates into both parties. What a trick! So if they hold their nose up at you and say, I'm independent, ask them who they voted for every election and see if they were rhinos and dinos. Chances are they voted for a bunch of rhinos and dinos. And if you want to vote for rhinos and dinos, that's fine. It's a free country. But disclose who you are. Stop being sneaky. You're so sneaky. Oh yeah, you're real sneaky with your rhinos and dinos. Say it, say it, say it. Say you're a globalist. Just say it. I know you did it. Just admit it. The good psyop taking place. Pushing unity. So some of the fails were COVID, the fake insurrection, the fake Chinese balloon, the big tech censorship reveal. But an interesting psyop taking place, which in some ways is a noble deceit, is causing all sides of the spectrum to get a taste of their own medicine. And what I mean is, so you got white people are learning what it feels like to be discriminated against. Democrats are finding out what it's like to have migrants and illegal aliens dropped on their doorstep. Democrats now see what it's like to be blamed for a mass shooting. Republicans now see the evil of corporations, and Democrats now see the evil of government. So the psyop got Democrats wanting war and Republicans opposing war. They flipped both of the extremes, both of the sides. It's a psyop. It's highly amusing for me to watch that they were able to execute it with such precision. By the way, you could swap out Democrats for progressives or the left and Republicans for conservatives or MAGA or whatever you want to call them. Anyway, they love to scream peace after they start some ish. There was no manifesto and there were calls for no media coverage for that one specific shooting that occurred a couple months ago. So long as this permanently cancels out any future shooters, I'm fine with that. If they release the manifesto for something that's convenient to their narrative while withholding the one that was tremendously inconvenient for their narrative, I will have a colossal issue with that. But it's so funny that for this particular inconvenient shooting event, they're screaming quiet, shh, after they screamed real loud in the past for other events. Think mirror. I think that think mirror meant that both sides were being shown their faults. The Dems now behave like the stuffy Republicans used to behave, And the Republicans or the conservatives now behave like the revolutionary, cool Democrats of the 90s, when the Dems were cool and they had the moral authority. They have zero moral authority now. The Dems have zero moral authority now. The behavior of the religious right in the 80s and 90s, controlling language and forcing a moral level most people can't live up to, sinless, abstaining until marriage, no drugs, are now the behavior of the unhinged left, controlling language and enforcing a moral level that people just cannot accept. Depravity, sex of all kinds, acceptance of all lunacy, no matter how nutty it is. Think mirror. They changed. They swapped everybody. It's incredible if you take a step back and watch it. The all the way godly and holy, which in some ways was beyond what God intended with his message, is being swapped out with the all the way Satan, and in many ways beyond anything Satan himself would have suggested. My opposition is for different reasons. So my opposition to some of the Dem things, such as abortion, has nothing to do with the actual baby itself. It has to do with the slippery slope of what they're trying to do. If you look at their movies, they make a bunch of movies about wanting to kill off the elderly. They got The Beach, Soylent Green, Children of the Corn, and Logan's Run. All these movies suggested that we should kill off people after they hit a certain age, like 30 or 40. So you get people first conditioned to killing inconvenient, unwanted babies so that you could then get them to be okay with killing inconvenient elderly people. But I think the reason they condition both of those situations is to condition you to accept the killing of any kind of nuisance or any kind of undesirable for whatever the situation, conspiracy theorists, handicapped people, whatever. It's to erase the sanctity of life. The trans situation seems to be a psyop. Really, everything James Lindsay says over those 12 hours of speeches, just check it out. I pretty much echo what he's saying. It's a magic trick, and it's a transformation. It has to do with like Hermeticism and Gnosticism. As far as communism goes, is that I am for the end of artificial scarcity. I see communism, capitalism, fascism, socialism are all four economic systems created by the same people, and they're all based on scarcity. In order for real change, you have to end artificial scarcity. The communists just want to make everybody equally poor. I want to make everybody equally rich. COVID was just a mind control thing to see if you will conform. It was easy to see if you saw it. Most of us did. Half of us didn't. Whatevs. Marijuana, it's just there to make you tired. And then minimum wage, obviously, if you study any kind of free market capitalism, minimum wage just causes inflation. Nobody wins. Everybody loses. And it's like a plot. It's a trick. All right, well, I had wanted to keep this to 5 minutes. I already hit 8 minutes. These are all old topics that I had, and I'm going to hit you up with a couple of these over the next couple of weeks. So I hope you like it. Drop me some comments.